Pie in the Sky Media.
3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome back, Criminal Mischief Nation, to another bonus episode of Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Brandon. I'm Brandon, along with Carolyn Osorio here. Carolyn, hello. Go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
What I was going to say was we had a week off. Excuse me. We had a week off. Not because I was sick. That was just a strange cough right there. We had a week off because we just, you know what, busy. We just got a lot going on. It's all good stuff. But it's nice to be back. How are these last 2 weeks for you?
Good. Real good.
Yeah.
Real good. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm glad you're finally telling this story, by the way. We've been talking about this one for years.
We're such weirdos. I swear to God. We're going to be like, years.
We've been talking about this story for years.
We have.
It's been in like 3 different pitch decks that we've come up with. It's been in business prospectuses. What's the plural of prospectus?
Prospecti?
Is it prospecti?
I don't know.
I don't know. Different,
Iterations.
It's so many different iterations. It's been 10 episodes. It's been 5 episodes. It's been 8 episodes, and listening to the episode, editing it this afternoon, I remember why it's such a cool story, So
well, I had to. That was my. It was tough because I had so much. I'm such a like. I love the collection process. Like I have a process, and I had so much. And I had to, like, anyway.
But wait, let's talk about it. So the Hollywood bank robberies. Hollywood was the name of the guy. It didn't happen in Los Angeles. It happened up in Seattle.
Yeah.
Right in our prime.
Oh, our prime, baby.
Prime, early 90s. Are you fucking kidding me? Our prime. And it was like, tell me how did it like grip the city or the surrounding area? Like, was the guy like a Robin Hood type of celebrity? Was it split? Was the opinion split? Like,
it's funny because I don't have a good story for this. I wish I did. I wish I could be like, yeah, I remember. I was waiting tables, and then, like, I don't have a story like that for this. What I have is that it was something that I had heard about. It was like a lore, but I didn't, and I don't want to give too much away, but I have to tell you this. What drew me to this idea was that the guy had a tree house, and I was a sucker. I'm a sucker for tree houses. I know you're gonna roll your eyes.
No, I lived in an apartment that when my wife and I first started dating, that she called the tree house. I lived in the dirtiest, the rock bottomest residential motel in shitty Hollywood. It was what I could afford.
Sad. This is going sad. I'm not envisioning trees.
I was paying $300 a month, and
that's good rent.
Everybody living there were either like old dopers on their last legs, or like young people like myself who were just starting out or just starting over, right? You could afford it, and you were like, all you had, like, every night when I walked home, I was like, motivation to get out of this fucking place, right? But
were you living there by yourself?
I was living there by myself. It was a cool room. It was a hotel. It was basically just a hotel room. But I had my own bathroom, no kitchen. I was like doing my dishes in the bathtub. I had a little hot plate, to cook stuff.
Okay, so let's make this story not so sad. You were an actor, okay? Let's let people feel like
it was great because it allowed me to save a bunch of money. It allowed me to get on my feet. It allowed me to, to do a lot of stuff, and not be distracted because I didn't want a lot of people to ever see where I lived. You know what I mean? So I didn't have a lot of people come over.
Well, you must have really loved, obviously, your wife to trust her to bring her to your space.
And I lived there I lived there for 18 months.
Oh my gosh. So when you walked through the door with her, were you just like so apologetic?
What I told her early on was, listen, for the foreseeable future, I'm never going to impress you with how I dress, what I drive, or where I live. I'm just not. I may someday.
Great sales pitch.
Right? I may someday, but it's not going to be for a while.
Okay, but, what was the good part? How did you?
I'll defend you. I'll be honest. It'll be fun. You'll never be hungry. I'll always have a job. Like all of that. all of that
Okay.
stuff.
All right. All
And
right.
then the other stuff will come. But like right now, I'm just letting you know,
Yeah.
I'm hitting reset at 24 years old. And
Okay, so you were
I was
24.
24. Yeah. Yeah. I was
Ooh.
24.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But so I love the part about him having a treehouse also. His was an actual legit
Oh,
treehouse though. It
you
was like a villain's lair.
you just wait. You just wait, baby. Because I just was like, I wanted to go see the treehouse. I was talking to I mean, because it just gets, and that's why it's going to be hard to only do like 3 or 4 episodes
Yeah.
because there's so much to this
Well, then
guy.
just keep it going. Don't
And
restrict
I
yourself.
think I think I'm gonna have to because
Don't
I'm just
restrict
like,
yourself. Just tell the story.
and waiting. Okay, I have pictures of the treehouse. I can't wait.
I've
I
seen
had to.
pictures.
Oh
It
no,
was a while ago.
but you haven't seen the pictures that I got. Remember how
Okay.
I'm like the bone collector here? I got
Listen,
some great
in
pictures.
my experience, there has never been a successful, comfortable treehouse. All right. Like, because it's not up to any kind of code. The floor is always uneven. It's cold. Rain comes in because they're not contractors that build it. They're fucking kids that
I
make these
love
tree
it
houses,
though.
right?
There was a
Yeah.
house that I traveled with my kids, like to try to find this house because it had a tree in the middle of it. And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my God. And this would be the thing that my husband would just be like, oh my fucking God,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, and it was like so far in the woods. And I'm not one to turn back, but I was like, okay, this is not smart. I've got a bunch of kids in the car. I'm
Yeah.
looking
Good.
for it's like way in these back roads. And I'm like, okay, I need to turn around now. So, but I do think it's cool to, and I always have, I always have thought it was cool. So that was part of the appeal of this guy of the duality to his nature of like, he saw himself as this Robin Hood.
Yeah. But he wasn't giving the money away. Does he not
I know
remember
we
the?
have to, we can't give this to,
Oh,
we
okay.
can't
Whatever.
give it
All right.
away, but
Well,
like
something
there,
also that you didn't bring up in this episode was the music scene at the time. Are you going to get to that later?
I am, but that's the thing that I didn't want to overwhelm it
Okay.
because I
All right. So let's
have,
talk about what it's about then, because there's a lot of interesting stuff.
okay.
Um, what I didn't know in all of the stuff that you had done, um, and it's synchronistic with a book I'm reading right now. I didn't know about his time spent in Hawaii, which
Mm-hmm.
was interesting because, like I said, I'm reading a book right now called Shoe Dog. It's the Phil Knight biography, autobiography
Oh,
about Nike, right?
yes. Cool.
And so,
Cool. Do you like it? Are you liking it?
oh yeah, it's terrific. It's terrific. I mean, and I was going to say something derogatory, but it's not necessary. It's wonderful, and learning about this and the balls on the guy, where he borrowed money from his dad, and he had a buddy that he was going to go into business with, and go to Japan. Not less than a generation removed from dropping the fucking bombs over there. All right, this is
Yeah.
in the '60s, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's this American kid saying, "Hey, you make these great athletic shoes, and I want them." And him and his best friend from college, they borrowed money from their parents. They were going to go do it. And they're like, let's stop in Hawaii because we have to, because there's no nonstops to Japan back then. And we'll just take a few days. And it
Mm,
was like the island of Sirens or whatever in the Odyssey. They stayed for like years. They just,
mm,
because the time slows down and you're on the beaches and the girls are beautiful and the rents are cheap. And you could get a job renting surfboard. Who gives a shit? Waikiki, whatever, right? And then finally one morning he wakes up, he goes, wait, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. I have to go. Let's get out of
yeah.
here. And his buddy's like, I kind of met a local girl and I'm happy and I'm out, buddy. Sorry. And
Oh
so,
my gosh. Can you
yeah,
imagine?
yeah. But he's like, you know what? This is what I'm supposed to do. And look at what fucking Nike is, you know what I mean? So it
Mm,
worked out.
hmm
But so reading those pages over the last couple of days and then hearing that a similar experience you
hmm
know with
hmm
in Hawaii, like it's I got to tell you, it sounds really attractive. I had a buddy who was a musician in LA, had all the talent in the world. He got signed. He had a great producer. He made this great record, and then Mercury Records, they didn't promote it at all. I guess they didn't believe in it, and it did nothing, and it like kind of broke him, and he's like, fuck it, I'm moving to Hawaii. And he opened a burrito stand on the beach on the North Shore. And I think I haven't heard from him. It's been 25 years.
To me, like I get the appeal, but that
Yeah.
doesn't have any appeal to me. That doesn't I'm too like I'm wound way too tight.
Yeah,
Like
you're a
I would just
go-getter. Sure.
no,
Ambition.
it's not
It's
even just
ambition. It's okay.
no, and I'm not and I'm totally okay with it's not that. It's just that um I just don't want to just lay around.
Mm.
It's kind of just not like I like laying around and reading books. I like laying around. It's not like I mean I love my downtime
Right,
and
but as a lifestyle, no, you don't.
but as a lifestyle, just but I get it that people love it and I think that people should do whatever they want. But my question, do you remember when you got your first pair of Nikes?
Yeah.
So do I. How
Really?
old were you? I
What
do.
were they?
They were the white ones with I think it was a blue swoosh, either a blue one
Okay.
or a yellow one. And I got it at the same time with this really cool backpack, this yellow backpack that had rainbows. And then I also got at the same time, I think my mom had just gotten her divorce money or something. And so I got this shirt that had this unicorn on it and it said Carolyn. And
Whoa.
I thought I was the shit.
Right. And was your mom not aware that she just made you a kidnap victim?
You know what? Knew you were going to say that. But back then we didn't
Back
think
then, they
about
didn't give a
stuff like
shit. Right.
that.
Now there's the last thing you would
I,
do is put your
I,
kid's name
I
on a shirt,
know, but
right?
back then it's like that was like that's they had tea shop shops, remember?
Absolutely. The center
Remember
of the
the day?
mall. That's
The
where you go in
center
the
of the
mall.
mall. And you waited and
Absolutely.
you were like, I can get a t-shirt with my
With my
name on it,
name?
with my name.
Whoa.
And it was like Carolyn, the whole thing, 7 letters.
No
Like,
way.
look out.
Worst decision. I know.
Okay,
Worst decision.
what were your shoes and what was your story?
My first Nikes were the Nike Internationalist and I still wear. I've had probably 50 pairs of Internationalist sneakers over my life. I think they're the best sneaker Nikes ever made, including any Air Jordan. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's see. Here we go. There's never a pair far behind. So right here, they're their
Mm-hmm.
classic 80s running shoe.
Yeah.
The first colorway I got were the ones that Anthony Michael Hall was wearing in the Breakfast Club. They're like
Oh, oh,
the royal blue with gold. Classic. Oh,
yeah, I know. I think mine were royal blue. So how old were you? I think I was in like the third grade.
during the Breakfast Club? No, that was 86. We were 13.
No, I'm talking about my first pair of
Oh,
Nikes.
that was my first pair of Nikes.
Oh, was in 80s, was in
80, whenever Breakfast Club came out. Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah,
All
because I
right.
was always an Adidas guy. I wore
Mm.
Adidas like my
Well,
whole
it's actually Adidas.
what okay. I live in America, so I mispronounce foreign words. I know. I'm the ugly American. So
No, I only knew that because I just watched that documentary and I was
yeah.
like, and I saw who was it? I forget his name. Why am I spacing on his name? And he kept calling it Adidas. And I was like, Adidas, why is he saying that? It sounds so wrong. And it's like,
Second
oh,
greatest
right.
second greatest sneaker ever is the Adidas Gazelles, which I still wear also. I love
Yeah.
the
Okay.
Gazelles, but
All right.
internationalists are great and you can still get them. Nike has a great feature on their webpage where you can design your own and you get them in like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Maybe I'll get it with the unicorns that say Carolyn. Just to muck it up.
But then, excuse me, then Jordan took over and I had a bunch of Jordans and stuff and I
Mhm.
still Jordan's obviously a great, it's the most important sneaker of all time, the
So
84.
did your mom buy you those sneakers when they came out? Because a
Yeah.
lot of people could, and she did.
Yeah.
She hooked you up.
Yeah. She hooked me up with the Internationalists. Those were great sneakers, man. Great sneakers.
No, the Jordans.
The Jordans, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got me the Jordans also. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
But
you
it
watched
was
that movie
different.
with
It was different. It wasn't really like it's not like we had a bunch of money growing up, but but we only got like one or two pairs of sneakers a year. Like one when school started and one
yeah.
pair when summer started. Like that
Yeah.
was it.
No, I
Oh,
get it. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I
Um,
know.
and so yeah.
I just had this image of like all these teen boys, like when they came out, like suddenly doing these hoop shots wearing their Air Jordans.
Yep.
and like just thinking they were cool,
Oh
you
man,
know?
I thought I was the coolest. I thought I was the coolest. Me and my friend Ryan, whoo, right up the block from my house was an elementary school. And so all the basketball rims were 2 feet lower, so we could
Mm.
dunk on 8 foot rims. And we're wearing Jordans and we're wearing baggy Nike shorts, thinking that
With
we
your
are
little
the,
hair.
the
This,
I had the blonde, dyed
oh,
blonde skater swoosh.
okay. So you weren't Shockwave then.
I was the,
You were
I
transitioning.
was phasing out Shockwave.
You'd have to with the white swoop, you
I
know.
know. I had to grow it
You,
out and then
you
shave
had,
my head.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was but man, yeah, those were good times. Those were
Hmm.
good
Well,
times.
you know what? I had so much fun this week going back in time and
Mm.
like thinking about, like the early 90s, like you said, and just like what I was doing and it was just like this is gonna be kind of a
I bet, well,
nostalgia
listen, it
thing.
was all nostalgia for
I
me, the
know.
second half of it, because of one of my favorite movies in the late 80s was Young Guns. Like I know Young Guns word for word. I know
And
every line. I've watched it 1,000 times. Love
and
the
that's
movie.
coming. That's coming. You're gonna
Well,
identify
we
with
already
this guy.
started a little bit. You gave us the whole Doc Scurlock lineage connection with the grandpa. He's the fourth great grandson or great whatever,
I know, but
three
he
times removed.
liked the movie too. That
Yeah,
was the
great
thing.
movie.
He watched that movie, and then as we mentioned, as I've I feel like we've talked about it so many times, like
Yeah.
Point Blank, and I interviewed the writer who
Point
was, I think,
Break.
also the director.
Point
Point
Break.
Break. Point
Point
Break.
Break. Yeah.
What did I
Catherine Big.
say?
You said Point Blank. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Point Break.
Great
Point Break.
Springsteen song, but that's okay. So Point Break. Catherine
Mhm.
Bigelow directed Point Break.
Okay, well then this was
Yeah.
the writer that I interviewed. So it was really great to get his take, and we'll talk. That's why I can't. I'm just going to keep going because it's just too interesting. There's just too many.
You know my Point Break story, right? Do you know my
What?
Point Break story?
Tell me.
So from middle school through high school, in my
Mm-hmm.
school system, I probably like other school systems, for homeroom, it's alphabetical. So you have the
Mm-hmm.
same people in your homeroom for your whole middle school and high school life.
Okay,
And I
that's
was
not how it
always
is here.
sitting right behind Mike Mitchell. He was always right in front of me. Mike Mitchell, nice kid, blonde kid, just super cool. We were never like really tight, but we were friends. We'd joke around in homeroom and stuff all the time. Um, then I leave home and I'm living in LA and I'm like 17 or 18 and uh, I start getting calls from all of my friends still in Jersey and they're like, dude, you hear about Mike? I'm like, no, what? Is he dead? They go, no, him and Tim Minahan, another kid from my town, a year older than us, started robbing banks after they saw Point Break.
I remember you saying this because the sister
The sister
turned
turned
him
him in.
in.
Yeah, the sister was
Yeah.
going into Mike's closet to borrow his like snowboarding pants or something
Oh my
and found the
gosh.
duffel bag full of cash, president masks, and the fucking shotguns. And she turned him in because she didn't want him to get killed in like a shootout.
I
And
just can't believe that she did that.
they got 40
I
years.
know. I
Yeah,
know.
crazy. But the balls to go into federal banks and it's just
I
whoo.
think that there's like the I think that, and that's what the point that I was trying to make too with I didn't I mean I wasn't trying to make it. I think it's obvious, but the adrenaline rush, the adrenaline. I can't think
Well,
of a
that's what the whole
more.
movie was about, Point Break. They were adrenaline
I know,
junkies.
but
Yeah.
and so is Scott Scurlock and his
Yeah.
buddies like jumping off those cliffs. Like I'm
Mhm.
not an adrenaline junkie. Like I'm an adrenaline junkie with different things, but not stuff like I would never jump out of a plane.
You should
I
try
would.
and get in contact with John Fusco, the guy who wrote Young Guns and Young Guns 2, and figure out how much of the Doc Scurlock character is accurate. Because I'd love to know that. Because in that whole movie, like when he fell in love with the Chinese woman and rescued her and got her out of like sex trafficking and moved her to
Mhm.
New York with him and her whole family and all of that. And I
Boy,
wonder
you
if
really know the
yeah, I
story.
just want to know if
Wow.
it's true. I just want to know if it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And
So
if he died the way he died.
so
Go
what
ahead.
was it about Young Guns when you were that age that made you so into it? Because
I'll tell you.
I think what?
I'll tell you
I know.
exactly what it is because we saw ourselves, me and my friends, it was like we felt like, and I'm being totally serious. We felt like we completely understood the Billy the Kid gang because we recognized what friendship is. And that's what the movie's about.
Yeah.
It's about is friendship. And there's a monologue that Emilio Estevez does, um, where it's a critical point in the movie where the gang is they're deciding, do we keep going back to Lincoln and avenge our friend, or do we run to Mexico, right? And save
Mhm.
ourselves. And Billy the Kid was like, okay, fine, listen, but we're a tribe right here. You got yourself three or four good pals, then you've got yourself a tribe, and there isn't anything stronger than that, you know? Um,
Mhm.
and then maybe 10 minutes later, one of the guys just got married at a little village and everyone's happy, but they got the intelligence of where the bad guys are. We got to go get them.
Mhm.
And they're like, no, Charlie, you should stay. You got a wife now. You got to stay. And he kind of stiff arms the new bride and gets on a horse and he looks at Billy and he said, it ain't easy having pals.
Mhm.
And they all go, right? And I'm like, okay, like we totally get it.
Mhm.
You'll drop everything that you're doing and you back your friends play and that's it, you know? And so
Mhm.
that was we were like, yeah, 100% we get it.
But why do you think you needed that? Like, what was it about
It was
that
great
that
seeing it portrayed on the silver screen, an accurate representation of what we understood friendship to be.
okay.
Seeing
So
it up there,
the mirroring of it
the mirroring
of
of it,
like
seeing movie stars
yeah.
do it, we're like totally get it. And then just the humor in it, the when they all drank peyote
Mm,
and and how funny that part of it was,
hmm
and the vulnerability of these tough guys when they're scared and they summon their courage anyway, and they do what they need to do. So it was just a really well crafted film, great performances, great cast. Oh my gosh.
hmm So
Um,
kind of like teaching you how to be a man a little bit, like watching them and
sure. And
how you
reinforcing
yeah.
ideas that we kind of learned organically uh,
hmm hmm
about friend. And I'm not saying that we were unique in that. I'm sure all teenagers
No,
around the
no,
world
no, no. The
have
reason why I'm
friend
saying
groups.
that is because like,
Yeah.
having sons, it's a different perspective for me. I
Mm.
always like try to understand like,
Yeah. To
what
honor,
yeah.
and there were
So
anti-heroes. Billy the Kid was out shooting people.
no,
Fucking kidding me,
I know, and that's the thing about Hollywood, full
Yeah.
circle is that, he is an anti-hero. He was at a time and place in Seattle where there was a lot going on, which we'll get to
Yeah.
in the
And if
next
only,
episode.
if
What?
only
What?
he was smart enough to just walk away. He could have gotten away clean with a lot of money, but he had to keep going.
It's the adrenaline,
Yep.
Brandon. That's what I'm saying. Like
It's and
it becomes
hubris.
it
It's hubris.
becomes an addiction.
Yep.
Like,
Hubris thinking that they're never going to catch me. I'm too good.
but no, like if you look at like the pictures of him hopping up
Mm,
on the thing.
you're
Like
enjoying it
he
too
was
much.
doing all this stuff to disguise his athleticism, but at the end of the day, he really had to still hop up there. It's like he had to do that. And
Yep.
then, he had to wear those Converse.
Yep.
That's he's doing all this stuff. Like he could have just worn a mask, but no, he wanted to
Oh, he had to
have
get all theatrical and
he had
stuff
to get
with
all
it.
theatrical and
Yeah.
you could just see and I get that, like thumbing your nose at authority. I think
Sure.
that we both have that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I think that there's something about like I at least speaking for myself, like when people try to control me, I just really have a visceral reaction to it, especially people in authority and especially if I think they're wrong. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I have to really because then you don't want to be entitled and you don't want to be a Karen and you don't want to have that energy coming out. But like I think that there's something about and like the last clip that I put in there was like we're living vicariously through their actions because we would never do those things,
Right.
we would
Right.
never do that. So it's like another kind of mirroring too of like
Yeah, same
you
thing with
get
Billy
to
the Kid, man, just being out there on the plains, just fighting for justice and with your
yeah,
buddies and just doing shit, on a
yeah,
on a on a on a revenge tour. Oh, come on.
yeah.
Gosh, it sounds great. It's there's a Springsteen song called oh my gosh. Hold on. This hard land.
Mhm.
That's so good. It's so good.
Mm,
And a part of it, like at the end, the last verse, he's talking to his friend. He said, "Hey, meet me, pack your bags and meet me here, and and together we're gonna go out and we'll sleep in the fields and we'll sleep by the river,
mm,
and we'll make a plan." Almost kind of like a musical version of Mice and Men, where it's like
mm,
two friends
mm,
making these
mm,
plans.
mhm,
Um, and he says, "Stay alive if you can, and if you can't, meet me in a dream of this hard land," because he's going anyway, and
mm,
so it's just that sense of of freedom and of adventure, and just
mhm.
going out there and
I'm
making it
trying
happen.
to remember a movie that really resonated with me at that same age, and it's not that I watched with my girlfriends that I'm
Steel
not coming up with.
Magnolias. Sorry.
No, no. No. I remember my best friend and I we watched this is not fun. This is not a fun story, but I just remember it so vividly. But we were like in sixth grade and the Ghostbusters came out and we fucking loved
Great movie. It was a great
Ghostbusters. I
movie.
mean, and I think that what I loved about I think being younger, not being necessarily teenage girls, because I think, when you're a young, like 12-year-old girl,
Mhm.
you can still play, you can
Sure.
still, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
like
There's
you
some
can't play as
innocence. Yeah.
a teen, you still have that, like, I mean, just the giggling and the fun and the just going frog hunting, doing all that kind of
Right.
stuff. Like, I really, that kind of time period in my life, like, I
So it
really,
wasn't like Breakfast Club or like Pretty in Pink or 16 Candles or like
I loved
Risky
Breakfast Club,
Business,
but
any
I
of those.
didn't watch it with, I didn't, the difference here is that I freaking loved Breakfast Club. I
Yeah.
loved it, loved it. It was one of my favorite movies, but I didn't watch it with my girlfriends and just be like, yeah, let's watch the Breakfast Club. Like
Right.
it sounds like what you did with
Yeah.
your friends,
Yeah. Yeah. We did.
I just remember like being younger and watching, Ghostbusters with my friend Jamie and her and I just hanging out the car window and who are you gonna call?
Oh, wow.
Jones and Danza, you know, and just loving it. Like,
Yep.
and I saw her recently, or probably a couple of years ago, but that seems like recent for
Yeah.
the first time in a long time. And we both look at each other like, who are you gonna call?
Oh my gosh, you
Jones and
nerds.
Danza.
You nerds.
I know. I
But
know. I
it's
was a
look,
nerd.
it's it's a powerful medium when it's done
I
well.
think, Stand By Me too. Stand
Oh,
By
yeah,
Me
Stand
is
By Me
like
was
a
great. I mean,
huge,
there
yeah.
was a movie that I still watch, like too much, probably, a movie called Vision Quest. Did you ever watch Vision Quest?
Is that
It's
with
high
what's
school
his face?
wrestling. It's Matthew Modine
Yeah,
as a
Matthew
high school
Modine.
wrestler.
Yeah.
Man, oh
I
man.
What about that? You're not a wrestler.
But it's just as a sports movie, it's up there for me with
Mhm.
Rocky because it's a journey. It's just he makes a decision. It's classic Aristotelian,
Mm,
intention and obstacle filmmaking. He states
mhm,
what he wants to do. In the beginning, I made a deal with myself. This is the year I make my mark. And in the
mm,
first 5 minutes, you realize that he wants to go from 190 pounds to 168 pounds to wrestle the baddest motherfucker in the state that is unbeaten in his entire wrestling career. Right? Which
mhm.
is the craziest thing.
Yeah.
Everyone is saying no. His coach is saying no. It's not healthy. Everyone on his team is like, that's not, you're not helping the team by doing it. And he's like, I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm
Hmm.
fucking doing it. And when and follow and then the obstacle that gets thrown right in front of him
The girl.
is a girl that could
I
derail
think I was
all
watching
of
this
his
with my
plans.
son recently. What?
A girl that could derail all of his plans,
Hmm.
you know? And
Yeah.
but he finally shifts back and gets back on track and he's like, okay, boom. And it was so great. Coming of age, sports movie,
Mm.
everything guy on a quest. On a quest. And he'll do
So
it fucking alone if he has to.
did he win?
Of course he won. Did he win? It's the 80s.
I
Of course
know,
he
but
won.
do you like movies where they win or do you like it when they're like realistic and they lose?
The
This
best
is
it's ever been done ever
Mhm.
is Rocky, where
I
he loses
know.
the boxing match, but he doesn't give a shit because he's in love with Adrian. Like he
You know
doesn't
what's so
even
fun? You know
doesn't
what's
even
so funny
realize
is
that he
that
lost
I don't even think of him as losing.
because you're not even hearing it. The filmmaking
I
was brilliant.
I
As they're
know. That's
announcing
so
that Apollo
interesting.
Creed wins, that's
Yeah.
when he goes, "Oh, hey, where's your hat?" Because your hat fell off when she was running up to the ring, and he remembered her outfit from
Mm,
before the fight. He
mm.
asks, "Where's your hat?" It's so, you know what I mean? It's so good.
That was like one of my favorite movies when I was little. Yes,
Yeah,
I
because
do. I
it's
mean,
amazing filmmaking and amazing storytelling. Yeah.
and he's got those birds still. Or no, the turtles. Do you
Turtles,
know that?
Tough and Link.
Oh my gosh, you knew that, you know the names?
Tough and Link. The rest of them are marbles. That's what he says to Adrian in the terrarium. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Cuff and that's Link, and the rest of them are marbles.
Oh my gosh.
And the dog, Butkus. Yeah,
It's a great one. It's a great
so
one.
great.
Well,
So
I'm
great.
glad that you enjoyed this
Yeah, I can't wait to hear the rest of
bit
the story.
of
Can't wait to hear the
Hollywood.
rest of the story. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And I'll see you in a couple weeks up in Emerald City, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Looking forward to that. It's like
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, isn't it? Something?
You know what? Oh my gosh, it's going fast. Don't
Yeah.
give me a freaking heart attack.
Yeah, no, get ready. Get ready.
You get ready. You get ready. Hey,
Get ready. Yeah,
you get ready. You get
I'm
ready.
I'm probably gonna have to leave tomorrow to stand in security lines at the airport with everything that's going on. But we'll see.
You got to do what it takes.
Oh shit, I'll
Bring-
be there. I'll be there. But anyway, listen, great job. I can't wait
Thank
for
you.
next week. And please
Mhm.
don't feel constrained by episode number. Just tell the story. Take your time.
Okay,
It's great.
sounds good.
Enjoy it. If you enjoyed the episode, people, make sure you share it. Leave a comment, rate and review. Every little bit helps other people discover the show. And until next week, stay safe. Carolyn, anything you want to add?
Nope. We'll
All
see you
right.
next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
I got to stop there.
From Pie in the Sky Media, Criminal Mischief is an EVO production, recorded live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself, music by Soundstripe. For EVO Creative, I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.